At FIRMAMENT, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at FIRMAMENT, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. FIRMAMENT, we are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vibra Live. You know, kind of a shitty day today in the markets. Last couple days, not much happening. But honestly, my gut tells me that we are setting up for a massive run to close this year out. I think Bitcoin's going to push 42K. Alts are going to pump. Coins like Zilliqa, coins like VeChain, some of the last cycle coins that kind of underperformed, I think might have their time in this sun to shine. So, guys, right when things start to look bearish, the opposite happens and things start to rip. So I'm getting ready for that, preparing for it. You know, it's been an ugly past week, but I don't think this is foreshadowing what's to come. I think we're going to see more stuff like this. If you look at the monthly bubbles, I mean, you got some crazy gains with Tau, with the AI, Ordinals, with the Vampire, Casper still cranking, Solana doing its thing, Thorchain, FTX. We ain't even going to go there. But enough of that. Tonight we got a special guest joining us, Mr. Pulseformer. What's up, bro? How's it going?
What's up, man? Just hanging out, man. Watching what's going on. How you been?
Definitely. Good, bro. Been doing good. You know, it's that time of the cycle where things are getting exciting. You know, I've been really watching some of the TA guys and macro guys that I follow, and everybody seems to be bullish right now, which typically that's not a good thing, but I think this is one of the unique times, rare times where the moon cycles are setting up, just things with the macro, bank situations, everything's bullish for crypto.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, we're going into where we 35% moon right now, coming into a full moon. So, you know, we're probably the whole entire market's probably going to, you know, start drifting down a little bit, and then I think after that we'll start ripping back up again. Where we stop, I don't know, but you know, that's probably what's going to happen. You know, nature has its way of doing what it does. So
yeah, definitely, bro. I think that we saw with the fake ETF news with XRP and with Bitcoin how it shot the prices up temporarily. And I think that's kind of a foreshadowing of what's to come. I think that Bitcoin is for one time undervalued right now. As soon as that comes out, I think you see just a big push upwards, but that always comes with a big dip. So as soon as people get excited, new people come in, they get waxed.
Yep. And ink broke down under $1. I don't even look at
under
it, man.
80 cents, bro. It's sad, bro. I'm so glad I got out of it, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm gonna have to go back and really rethink my strategies for the incentive token, because that shit backfired hard.
I've been buying it this whole time, and like it's like throwing money down the toilet every time. But you know, with the whole governance thing with it, I think we'll be fine. I think people are sleeping on it, but I also think that they're waiting for it to become sufficiently decentralized before they bring out the governance. And until then, we're probably just going to keep going down with incentive token, honestly.
Yeah, bro. I was doing the Pulse and PulseX pools from day one. And it was nice selling ink at 60, 50, $40 a token. You can get a couple million pulse or whatever. And then once it dropped down, I just ganked it. And I was like, screw it. I'll just buy some ink. And I bought like 100 of them at like $1.70.
I was
And
farming it and trading it for Pulse and PulseX in like the first week. So that was crazy. That
yeah,
was
the
really
first
nuts.
couple weeks were great.
Yeah, I mean, I made the most gains I ever made in the first week. You know, so yeah, man. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. It was just tokens flying everywhere. I can't believe PulseX went down as much as it did. Honestly, it's crazy.
Bro, and the fun, like we're still up 100% from the bottom. I mean, it was down at like 87 or something. Yeah. Whew.
My God. But yeah, man. Pulse Laurian ecosystem. It's looking wild.
Yeah, bro. Let's pull up your screen here. Let's see. Yeah, I loved having Pulse Laurian on. It was great stream, and I'm excited for the NFTs. I think that will kind of it'll give them that like advantage for the marketing. Something new came out, new eyes, and all that. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep. You know, I mean, I saw what these guys were cooking up, and I was just immediately on it. You know, and you know you're doing something right when people are like, "How much are you getting paid?" You know, it's like, "How much are they paying you?" It's like, nothing, actually. Like, I'm making profit off of my own work, honestly. Like, and it's all been in reflections this whole time. Like, I don't see the point in selling when we're coming out of a bear market into a bull, right? And there's not really any other ways to produce yield that, you know, are up to my standards. So, you know, can you see my screen?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep, it's perfect. Let me just
Yeah,
I'll make a full screen there.
yeah, because I got you. Okay, yeah. All right. All right, so we got the moon phases. I pulled that up a little bit ago just to see it. But we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. We got the Pulse Laurian ecosystem. These are all their products. The most popular ones being Reflex, Dix, and Elixir, if you've heard of it. So I'm going to focus on these three today. Where should I start? Maybe.
We covered. I would start with Elixir.
Okay.
If people aren't familiar with that.
Yeah, we'll start with this. Okay. So what is Elixir? Let's see if I can zoom in here. There you go. There's a total supply right now of 7.3 or 731,000. It's minting at 0.1 per second. Has a burn effect to it. You can see that 1.46% has been burned. Now, what this token does is it's basically an incentive token, but it's basically PulseX V1 and V2 if you merge them together, right? So all of these pools that you're looking at are PulseX V2 pools, but you can take your LP and you can stake it on this platform, right? And it actually kind of tells a timeline because you can tell, like, you know, as you go through here, kind of what released and when it released and stuff. And anyway, so we're gonna start off with the Elixir Pulse pool. You can see that there's 100. It's running 161% APR. It's allocated 10x, and it's got a 0% fee. And the 10x allocation is how much of the inflating supply of Elixir it's getting, right? So this pool's getting a 10x allocation versus everything else, right? The next pool that's notable, and again, these are 0% fees, and obviously this is meant to build liquidity in Elixir token. Next one's PulseX in Elixir. You got an 8x allocation there. Then you have everything else. I'm not trying to go into everything else. I don't understand it enough to be talking about it. So we're going to move down here until we get to the RFX ones. You can see you have an RFX PLS farm, DAI farm, PLSX farm. We put it up an HOA and PLS farm as well. Then you have the wrapped Ethereum. Then DAIX launches, and now we have a Pulse one, a PLSX one, and a DAI RFX one. And the DAI RFX one, I think, is probably one of the most important ones here, because for those who don't know, when you're providing liquidity with RFX, it's only the pools, it's only the Pulse pools on PulseX V2 that RFX and Dix get double reflections for. If you put it into any other of these pools, like you're getting liquidity provider fees. That's all you're getting. It's a bonus because the people who are providing this liquidity, those shares are basically removed from the system. They're treated as they're burnt, right? So that increases the share system of that everybody else is getting. But now you can also come here, right, and you can stake your LP, and it makes a lot, like, I try not to talk about this too much because I want people to learn about it slowly because I'm all up in this, enjoying it. Because this is actually really paying out a lot, and these APYs are getting pretty nutty. And it's important, that you encourage liquidity providing into that pool right there, because you want the users to be able to trade between their tokens, right? Like, there were a lot of people trading their RFX to get some Dix on launch, right? So, yeah, that's Elixir for you. You can request to get pools put up there, all that stuff. It's great. Love it.
Well, the thing that if you want to just pull up the PulseX pool and show, I think the API on that is like 4 times higher than what it is on PulseX.
Yeah, like on PulseX.
Yeah, I think it was like last time I looked, it was like 40% on there and like 9 on PulseX.
Yeah, we'll pull it up. Farms.
Oh my God, 5.
Yeah, 5%, 41%. But like you can fully expect the Laurian farms to look like this later on, simply due to the fact that the reason the APYs are so high here or on Laurian over here is just because there's not a lot of people participating in it. It's a fairly new ecosystem. Not a lot of people know about it. Whereas, everybody knows about these. That's why the APYs are lower. That's why at the beginning, you saw like 2,000 and 3,000%. Like if Laurian were to just launch another pool, you'd see that it'd be like 14,000% APY. But as people stack into it, it goes down because everybody's getting less of that share, right? And like you see, these are all getting 1x allocations. There are 2% fees, but I mean, you recover those fees pretty quickly, especially like with this one. It 3% fee, 368%. You're waiting like a couple of days to get that 3% back of the LP. So yeah, and also you get to keep your liquidity provider fees as well. So when you decide to unstake, take out your Elixir, whatever, get rid of the LP, you get those liquidity provider fees. So I don't really see the risk in it. If you got some HOA, for example, and some Pulse liquidity, and you don't plan to move it, why not take advantage of that? Again, it's your money, do what you want with it, but it's just a cool little farm thing. So we'll kind of be quick with RFX and Dix because I'm sure that most people here already understand it. But if you don't, you can always you see the links up here. You can check them out. Now, ReflX and Dix, they're twins. They're the same code. They just pay out ReflX pays out in Pulse. Dix pays out in eDai, which is bridged in DAI, the $1 quote unquote real DAI. So it's got a 2% buy and sell tax, 1 billion fixed supply. It's deflationary. 1.75% of the 2% up here gets reflected to the users. The other 0.25% of the 2% up here is used for the buy and burn, right? When you're providing, this is the big thing with this token and both of these tokens. When you're providing liquidity in the Pulse and ReflX pair on PulseX V2 only, you get 2 times reflections. And keep in mind, if you put them in any other pool, you will not get any reflections. You'll just get whatever rewards come with naturally providing liquidity, rather it be liquidity fees or no fees or whatever. on PulseX. 94% of the supply was put into liquidity and burnt. The other 6% got sent to a no expectations wallet. 2% of the 6% got sent on, I believe it was your stream, right? With Laurian, got deposited into the accelerator. Now, what is the accelerator? It's basically a benevolent god that's meant like God whale or whatever. That all it does is it uses the reflections that it gains. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can kind of see. It's gonna use the reflections that it gets. Right, you can see that it's holding 218 pulse right now, and it's gonna either buy reflux with it, or it's gonna put it into an LP, put it into the LP pool and stack LP. Now it hits limiters, right? So when it hits a certain limit, it will start adding LP. Right now it's at its limit was 25 million, and people keep throwing more reflux in here, and it's just been stacking LP ever since. You can see 218 pulse. Somebody just hit it. So anybody can come in, and when this bar gets full, you can maybe see it over here. Yep. When this bar gets full, you can come over here, you can press this button, run a transaction, and anybody can get 5% of however much pulse is in here. So if there's 100,000, which is the trigger for reflux, if there's 100,000 pulse in here, you can come in here, click the button, and you get 5,000 pulse out of it, minus your whatever, right? Your transaction fee. So yeah. So we got 895 token holders, 113 liquidity providers, 464,746,975 pulse paid out in reflections, which right now is about 28 grand. Obviously, y'all can see that. Now the supply burnt is the burn from the contract itself, from the buy and burn from the tax, plus the accelerator. Okay, so with reflux, we have 4.155% burnt. That is just never going to go anywhere, and most of that again is in the accelerator, which is 25.2 million. That is going to do what it does. And when you're on this website, you can highlight this, and you can actually learn how the accelerator works. I know I just explained it, but it's just a helpful tool. Same thing over here with DAI. Zoom out. DAI X. Same tokenomics, but I guess I should go ahead and bring this up. The code in these two contracts, you can use Elixir token to vote to be able to change the fees. Okay, so with reflux, let's find it. There we go. You got 2% buy and burn fee, right? Or 2% fee. With this one, you have a 2.5%, or you have a 2% buy and a 2.5% sell. Okay, tokenomics work out the same with what's going on with the token, with the burn, with the reflections. Again, DAI-X needs to be in the pulse pool, or the pulse pair to earn your 2x reflections, and that's on PulseX V2. Again, ownership announced, can't be modified. Now they did make a few improvements to how they distributed the supply on the launch of this. So DAI-X launched after ReflX, about a month after, and it included the CMM and the accelerator. Now the CMM, I'm not going to go crazy into it. All that it does is it just creates volume, right? It just trades back and forth and has fun to increase the volume. Sorry about that. So anyways, 90% of the supply got put into liquidity, and that's 60% pulse, 10% to the BSKR and to the LBSKR, 10% went into the ReflX pair with DAI-X, and all of that got burnt. 5% went to a no expectations wallet. It's for the devs; they share it. It's really no problem to me at all. I think they deserve it. They work. They bust their ass. 5% of the supply went into the accelerator and continuous market maker contracts, and you can see that up here. Zoom in. Yep, you can see up here. Again, if you hover over the address, you can get a more detailed explanation of what the accelerator is, how it works. But you can see that it was preloaded with 50 million DAI-X. It's already bought 33,000. 16 million of that 50 million is, or 16.3 million is in the CMM, and it just trades back and forth and creates volume. Blah blah blah. There's $6.76. So this is where the math gets easy. Sitting in it, the estimated reward is 5,417 pulse, and it's probably going to fill up here pretty soon. And then somebody can go and snag that, and I'm sure they will because I always miss it. We have 607 token holders and 49 liquidity providers. And the token holders, once I get into the chart, the token holders for both of these coins have actually gone up, as well as the liquidity providers have also gone up as the token's gone down. So that's what I want to see. I want to see weak hands getting out. I want to see new people coming in, stepping in to buy it up and take advantage of the dip. We got $2,365 in total reflections so far. And you can see how much has been burnt. Again, that's the burn from the contract plus the accelerator balance, which is 5.785%. So yeah, that's nice. Now I'll go ahead and move into the charts. So because DIEX is a little bit younger, I'm not going to be able to do the 4-hour chart. But yeah, we're going to basically do some measurements here. Let me make this bigger. Okay. Now this is log, right? I'm just going to I'm going to stick with log. Sorry about that. Come on. Or I'm going to stick with not log just because it's easier for this. But you can see, turn on my magnet, launch price up to the top was a 62.5x. If I'm reading that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're currently up 14x from the very bottom. I like to measure it from the dip because this is kind of when I started getting in. That's a 34x. Currently sitting up at 7.3x. Okay, that's cool. We came out really strong, so I'm going to go into the history. Here was the area where I found it. This was right around the time that we all got into a chat and decided to team up and work together. Okay, and then this is B Roots. This was the shell tank on B Roots that weekend, right?
Yep.
And since then, we've kind of melted back down. It's down 76.75%. But again, throughout this entire period, we've increased in holders, like pretty substantially, and we've increased in liquidity providers also pretty substantially. You can see down here, we're bouncing off the lows of the RSI. I'm buying this dip. Y'all do whatever the hell you want to with your money, but I buy all the dips. Okay, that's what I do. What I do is I like to take my reflections and either buy the token or add it into liquidity. If we're in a dip, I buy the token. If we're up top or something, I add liquidity, whatever, right? And I just accumulate more tokens. Now with DIEX, let's see. We're on a 1-hour chart because we don't have that much history. Honestly, I should probably do the 30-minute just so people can get a better picture, Okay, so DIEX, we come straight out of the gate, pumping. We go up. We do about a 10x. We're sitting at about 3x right now. So we're chilling. And this screams like, I'm just going to pull this up so y'all can see what I see. Let's see. Okay. So like this is all happening exactly like the way that ReflX did. So you see 55.38%. They're almost identical. They're not playing out the same, obviously, but yeah, we're looking at really similar price action here, in my opinion. Of course there are different things that played out in this move and stuff, but yeah, it's been something else. Again, when you look at the 30-minute chart, we might still have a ways to move down, but we might have just hit a floor because you're looking on the RSI here, dip, higher low, right here into another dip, and then I I don't know what's going to happen, right? But my shitty technical analysis says that we might start moving back up again. I don't know. I don't really care because I'm not trading it, right? Let's see. Now we can go into the NFTs if you want to go into those.
Yeah, definitely, Rob. I really am excited for them. I think just the amount of buy pressure that those are going to put on RFX.
Yeah, so this is super bullish. And then after that, remind me to go into the share system because I think that that's really important, like a really important aspect too.
Okay.
So Hexicans can kind of get an idea of like what I see. But anyways, NFTs. These NFTs are going to be minted for 5,000 or 500,000 pulse. There's going to be 5,555 of them. So when you do the math, we're going to go ahead and do it for you. 5555 times 500,000. Oh, y'all can't see that because I'm sharing my window, but it's 2.777 billion pulse. Okay. Now, the reason that this is so bullish is that when you mint these NFTs, all that pulse that you spend to mint them are going to go straight into buying RFX on the chart. Now, with that number of 2.777 billion, when you look into the pool down here, there's only 559 million pulse sitting in the pool and 128 million RFX sitting in the pool. Do I know what's going to happen? No. Do I know that that's 5 times the amount of that's enough buying pressure? That's 5 times the amount of what's in the pool already? Yes, I do know that. Now, do I know right now, like if nobody sold, it could only buy up about 128 million RFX, right? Well, obviously we know people are going to sell. We're going to have people adding, removing liquidity, blah, blah, blah. We know what's going to happen, right? The main question is all this RFX that's being bought up is going to go straight into a contract, and each one of these NFTs will have claim over the pulse that gets put into that contract, right? That's yielded from the RFX itself. And also it's going to have an accelerator built into it, right? One of these guys, let me pull it up. Hold on. One of these guys, it's going to have this built into it. So it's also going to be using the pulse and the RFX to compound the RFX into it, thus yielding more and more pulse as it goes, right? And each one of these NFTs, again, has equal claim to their portion of the pulse that goes in there. The main question is, how much of the RFX is it going to have? Is it going to end up with? Because right now I can already buy almost 13% right off the bat. So we're talking about, and for people like, it's not that amount of buying pressure will increase the price by 5x just because it's 5x the amount of pulse in there. I don't know the real number, but it's I estimate 20x price. Like that's what it could do. And that number's off the top of my head, but that feels about right. It might be more, but I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, right? These things, nobody can mint them, maybe, but like, who knows, that's part of the fun. But 100 of them are going to go out to the HOA, obviously. Pay our respects to the HOA, and I think that the community will be really happy about these. Now the share system. Okay, so the way that the share system works for RFX and Dix, and this is how the contract calculates your double rewards. Okay, if you buy 10 RFX, you now have 10 shares, right? If you take those 10 RFX and you put them into a pool with Pulse, right? Into the correct pool on PulseX V2, and you put it in there, what it's going to do is the contract's going to say, okay, you're providing liquidity. You now have 20 shares. Okay. Well, what do we know about liquidity providing? We know that it leaves us open to impermanent loss, right? You would think, okay, if the price of RFX goes down, right? You put liquidity in up here, the price of RFX went down to here. You would think that you have more shares, but you don't, right? You've taken impermanent loss, but you still have 20 shares. Okay. what I do in this position, I put liquidity up here and it comes down here, and I have 20 shares up here. I have 20 shares down here. I like to pull my liquidity and then put it right back in, because let's say that this is a 50% move, and let's say, easy math, I now have 20 RFX instead of having 10 RFX. I pull my share liquidity, right? Now my shares reset and it says, okay, you now have 20 RFX. So now you have 20 shares alone. But then you still have the Pulse sitting there. So you slap it back into the pool. Now you have 40 shares, right? And what this does, this share system and encouraging the 2x liquidity, or the 2x reflection, is that is what separates these contracts from all the other like yield or reflection tokens or whatever. Because the main thing, this is why they fail. This is what happens. The token launches. Everybody buys up the supply, right, within the first week. And then everybody's trading, and you go down the road 6 months or whatever, and it's been the same 5 guys that got in at the very beginning that have just been sucking up all the reflections, right? The new guys coming in don't ever have a shitting chance to be able to get that kind of position and get the yield that they're getting, right? It's just a dream. It's a fallacy. It's not going to happen unless you have enough money, and most of the time people don't. How does this token, like fix that problem? Well, or these tokens rather. It's because you provide liquidity and you're incentivized to put your tokens up for sale to keep you from hoarding them, right? So RFX, for example, has 128 million tokens in it. That's 4 whale positions that are sitting on the market. Like, I haven't actually gone into this, but somebody should probably look into how many whale positions are actually available on HEX. Like, are there that many tokens actually there? I don't know. Maybe. But the point of the matter is that it keeps people from hoarding their shares. And really, this is where like the whole T-share HEX thing that I talk about comes into play. Because there's one guy that's in this community that's been in these tokens that's been providing liquidity since like over here, since the very beginning, right? And he doesn't care about what happens with all of this, because he's not trading or buying the tokens or selling them, right? If anything, he's using his reflections to buy it or add liquidity, because he locked in a share rate down here that ain't nobody going to be able to get, right? His shares. So I realized the other night that the biggest whale in this ecosystem is not getting the most reflections. He's not.
That's crazy.
Because other people are providing liquidity, they actually have more shares than he does in the system, right? Because, like, you see what I'm saying? So it really doesn't, it's about how many shares you have, not how many tokens you have, right? And so a little question, question that I've had about adding liquidity in the share system and stuff. If I'm providing liquidity and I add to that share and I add liquidity to it, does it reset my shares? No, it adds them. It stacks on top, right? So he's doing the strategy where he stakes it, locks it, and doesn't touch it, right? Whereas I'm doing the strategy of I use all my reflections and I either buy the dip or I add liquidity, and then I kind of move my liquidity around, right? Like, I can't tell you how many shares I have because I move it around so much, right? When we have a dip, I'll pull my liquidity and put it back in and double my shares, or increase my share rate because I was adding liquidity all the way up, right? To sell off my tokens, right? And then when it comes back down, I pull it, reset all my shares, and now I have even more shares than I ever had, right? So, and it's nuts, man. It really is nuts, like the system that they made. Like, I could care less about what the price of the token is doing because that comes with adoption, like, and everybody says, oh, if these tokens fail if they don't have any volume, blah, blah, blah. Well, you have things that are automatically creating volume, first off. Second off, you're never going to stop the R bots. Okay. And third off, like, let me pull something up for you guys here. There's a little token that we all love that nobody's meant to trade. And for some reason, it's doing $1.1 million in the 24-hour period, but it's meant to be bought and locked up for years. Right? Hex, hello? Like, that's what it does. Like, you're not meant to trade it, but for some reason, it's doing $1.1 million in volume over here on Pulsechain. Actually, just broke 1.2 million. And the only people who are getting paid out for this are not the users, right? It's the liquidity providers who are earning this yield. And, you know, I like to, what is this pattern? I got to go buy some Hex. I'm going to have to buy some
dude, like, so many coins look like that right now. Like where they're trending up, they're making higher lows, but
yeah, but like this, bro, like what is this? What is this? Just over and over again, man.
Bro, dude, you know, so I've been I was noticing on a lot of coins where it, like, a lot of traders, I see where they're getting wrecked because if you start drawing trend lines on a lot of these altcoins, they break the trend for 1 wick and you think, oh God, it's over. And then literally the next 5 candles are just massive green candles. And I've never seen that before. And it's like, I think it's just to,
look at that test on the RSI.
Shorts.
Like boom, boom, boom. 3 tests, bro. We might break up. If this breaks up, we might not come back. Because you see how the RSI comes like in these. Let me zoom out here. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like talking TA, but I like this. This is nice. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, even like outside of TA, just with the moon cycles, you know, I really, you know, I don't go by them, but I follow people that strictly trade by them, and it is shocking how correct they are. And I'm hearing that the ETF is going to be approved in January, if not announced before. It's either going to be announced in January, and then it's going to go live like a couple months later, or it'll be announced before they go on holiday break, and it'll go live when they come back in January. That's what I'm hoping for. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
It lines up with my thesis. I'm just waiting. All I'm waiting for is okay. I guess we'll do that one. I'm waiting for the Fed to reverse, man, because like all you have to do is zoom out. Like, just look at what the Fed's doing. Just look at the dollar. You know, like. I hope that this is the right one. What is? Let's see. I don't know where to find the dollar chart.
The DXY.
DXY.
Yeah.
There we go. I guess.
And bro, I'm hearing too that this could be the largest decrease in inflation in 100 years coming.
What do you mean the largest decrease in inflation?
The fastest lowering
of
inflation ever.
Yeah. So you're bringing up my point is like, okay, guys, like this is the dollar, all right? This is the weekly chart. When you go back to when they started, I don't know why it's not loading. Okay. When did they start increasing interest rates? 2020?
I think
right about here.
2020 was 0. I think it was 2021.
Yeah, right here. Right here. Right about here. Right? And the dollar just shot up in value. Okay. And what is this? Like I think we've all been wrecked enough to know what a bearish chart looks like. But like,
Wait, that's not a bull flag?
no. Like, they cranked up the dollar so bad that like people are. It's bad. It's we can talk about that for hours, but yeah, no. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're just gonna they're gonna come out at the beginning of the next year and they're just gonna just drop those interest rates, bro. And the dollar's gonna drop. Everything's gonna fly to the fucking moon because they need to. They have to do it because it's this. Housing is too expensive that nobody it's like 80 or 90% of people can't afford a house right now. Okay. And so there's the whole thing where BlackRock's buying up all these properties and people are like, oh, they're trying to buy them all up to keep us from owning houses. No, it's my theory that they're doing that to keep the housing market from collapsing, because if the housing market collapses, we're all fucked.
Exactly.
Okay. So they're propping up the housing market.
The economy runs on debt. It requires loans to be written. Right. That's how new money is printed. So you need the real estate. That's what happened to China. They just took it out of control with the ghost cities. And now we're not doing that, but it's getting dangerous.
Yeah. Well, okay. Like, they're keeping the housing market from collapsing, because if that collapses, everything else is going to collapse. While they're doing that, while BlackRock and Vanguard and the shadow government are doing that or whatever, we're over here. The Fed is over here sucking. How are they getting inflation under control? They're taking all of our money. Okay. Like, it's not the corporations that they're taking the money from. The corporations just increase their prices. They're not losing money. They just increase their prices. They say, okay, things are more expensive. Customer pays more. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter, because if they don't, they starve and die. Right. It's us. We went from having 2.1 trillion in savings in 2021 to having less than 200 billion. And I am so bad at this. Less than 200 billion, right? In savings. And we've been burning at a rate of 100 billion of our savings per month since they started increasing interest rates down here. Okay. So we're the ones that have been paying out the inflation, not them. And in the meantime, to keep the economy from collapsing, they let all the stocks go down, but they keep the housing market up. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to fix shit. No, I don't want to join for free.
They're going to just print, bro. They're going to print.
Yeah. They're going to print, and they're going to get all of us the money that we need to be able to afford the houses. And it's just, that's what they're going to do. They have to, because if they don't,
they have to, bro.
If they don't,
I think. Go ahead.
We're in the last couple of months, bro, of before we as a people in the country run out of savings completely. Like, we're right there. Where does that line up to? The new year coming in of wealth, right? It lines up with when I predicted they're going to start lowering interest rates, right? It lines up with everything. The moon, the astrology, everything lines up to them having to just turn those fuckers on. And I think, okay, you want to know how you fix the dollar? This is going to sound out there, but this is how you fix the dollar. What's the problem with the dollar? The Fed creates the money. The Fed gives the money to the banks. The banks lend it to us and their friends, and then we pay the debt, and then it trickles back up to the Fed, right? What if the Fed, because we're going into a world where universal income is going to be necessary. That's why we're all here in crypto, is trying to figure out how to build passive income, right? And if you want to fix it, what you do is the CBDC thing, right? I'm hoping that this is what they do, to where we, the citizens, get the inflation. I don't care how much they inflate it if I'm getting the first-hand money. I do not give a shit, right? If I'm getting the first-hand money and then I go take my money and I choose and I say, hey, bank, if you don't get your shit together, I'm not going to keep my money with you. Or, hey, Walmart, if you don't get your shit together, I'm not going to spend money with you, right? Because now the problem is that all these corporations are getting all the first-hand money, and then we get it. Well, if we're getting the first-hand money and they're not, who do they have to suck dick to? Whose dick do they have to suck? Ours. They have to suck our dick, right? not theirs. It's us because we're the ones closest to the water at that point, right? So, yeah, that might be a good way to fix the problem.
Bro, there's some crazy stats too that in 2020 there was $4 trillion in circulation. Now there's 20. So you just got robbed of 80% of your wealth in the last 4 years.
Yep. And the corporations, they're the ones that kept all the money and the power. We're the ones that paid for all of it. You know?
Right.
And meanwhile,
yep.
They're starting a whole new war. You see the military is like telling people like, hey, if you got kicked out because you wouldn't get vaccinated, you can come back now. Like,
yeah, bro. Yeah. And no one's gonna fall for it now.
Oh, I mean, if people don't, I mean, dude, like, even like I don't want to get political, but even the Democrats are being like, I can't vote for Joe Biden. It's just too bad. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's getting to that point. You know, and it's unfortunate, but that's what happens when you fall asleep at the wheel and let people take control of your country. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's bad, but I mean, we got crypto to get us through. I think this is the banks, hedge funds, a lot of people. This is the only way out from the debacles they've created from shorting and destroying silver markets, gold markets, the real estate market, and anything they can get their hands on, commodities,
Leverage,
you name it. And
yeah, the problem is that their golden goose is running out of eggs, and we're the golden goose. So if we don't, like, they don't survive if we don't survive. So, you know,
right. And we're coming to that time where I think it's going to be a controlled demolition of the economy, of the banking system, which is a mass consolidation. You know, it's just
look into how many banks closed in the past 5 years, and look at how many banks opened. Ton of banks have been closing, like private banks and small banks. They're all gone, and no new banks are being created. Nobody's doing it.
Nope. Bro, actually, you know what? There's an unbelievable new bank. I'm super bullish on Hedera. On this channel, it's a project I love. The tech they're building there is gonna onboard the masses. I cannot believe it's just still flying under the radar. And they are building the decentralized recovery, which is going to allow us to take all of our seed phrases and store them on the blockchain. So you can't get hacked anymore. Like the odds of you losing your entire seed phrase because it's split up in hundreds of places is like getting struck 1,000 times by lightning. Like it's like statistically impossible. So that is going to help to bring mass adoption. And some of the other stuff that they're working on in the last couple months with like decentralized social media and some of these other platforms.
I can't wait for that, dude.
Oh, dude, this Galaxy app that I've been talking about a lot. It's for like streamers, creators, athletes, and you get on there and you can create a profile. And I think in the future, every like verified person will have coins, so you can buy into their coins. The more you have, the more access you have to them. But in that app, they have a feature where you can just text crypto to your friends at no gas fee, no charge. So if I'm just texting you like in Telegram or messaging back and forth, I can just send you, $20 in Bitcoin or $100 in Hedera or 500 USDC instantly.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. Like those little things we need for mass adoption. And I think this is the one bull market where everything comes together. That first step of mass adoption, all of these tokenized funds, tokenized mutual funds, tokenized bonds are all coming. Real estate is being digitized, sold through NFTs. So you have like the institutional money meeting the technology coming through, and actually the utility being here, along with the banking collapse and all that. Like everything is just setting up for this to potentially be the biggest bull run ever, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, look how many people have crypto. Look how many people don't have crypto. and then think about like how fucked up the world is and how much we need crypto, and then you know the answer. You know,
Right.
it's
And
an
it's just
education
sad for
problem.
people. Yeah, people. It's sad for people that don't understand it. They don't see it. They're too busy in their lives, distracted, whatever. They're gonna get left behind at such a rapid rate. The middle class is gonna officially disappear in the next 10 years, and it's gonna be
Yep.
we're gonna be living in Hexaco, living the dream, have our own supply chains, our own everything. And then there's gonna just be these 15-minute hell on earth cities where you're gonna be told what your money can buy, you're gonna be told what to do, and it's gonna either be you're all in or you're all out. There's gonna be no in between the way this is going right now.
Yeah, it's
But I
unfortunate.
think that the whole CBD system, the whole programmable money, if you're not doing it morally and you're not doing it with good intentions, it's just the snake eating its tail. It's just a inevitable system that will collapse on itself. And you saw it in China, in Nigeria, the countries that they really tried to push it out. It was an epic failure. Nobody wanted anything to do with it. And now they're trying to figure out ways of basically bribing people into using it because no one wants to touch it.
Yep.
And that's where they're going to do a great job of either scaring people where, oh my God, you don't have access to your old bank account. Oh my God. Well, here, switch to this new one here, and we'll guarantee all your money and we'll triple it for you. And that's when people are going to take the ticket, and it's all going to be an offer.
Mm-hmm. You remember when they're trying to get people to do the thing for a hamburger and French fries?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That shit's ridiculous, man.
And a donut. Go to Krispy Kreme and stuff your face after you get your special
We
treat.
care so much about your health, but here's a whole bunch of shit that's gonna kill you.
Yeah. And then wash it down with literal poison.
Yeah.
From Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. Like they treat us like we're stupid. And you know what?
Well,
It's because we weren't paying attention. You know, but
well, yeah, a lot of people weren't. Right? I mean, I was screaming at people and begging people not to do it, and it was like I would say a lot of my aunts and uncles got it so my grandma wouldn't get sick. It's like, okay, she's 95. She has what 4 or 5 more years left. You have 50 years left. It's just it guilt trips people into that position where they make that decision, and 5 years later they have to live with this shit forever. And it's horrible.
yeah. I mean, I made the argument that it's a form of natural selection. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know,
it is in a sick way.
Right. Nature ain't pretty, man. But
It's not, bro. And this is where it's our opportunity with the amount of wealth that's going to be created in this next cycle. Like, unfortunately, I staked way too much all of my HEX and all my like money where I could have built like a farm or in a homestead. It was all paper gains that I couldn't touch. So I'm not making that mistake this cycle. And so many people in 2020 that I was in private groups with and like were alleged friends, we were all gonna buy a piece of land and do this. And now 4 years later, it's like nothing's happened. It was all talk. It all phased away. And
Yep.
now it's like it's so important, and we're doing it, bro. We got a lot of people that are on board to make the move, and it's like they're that golf course we saw in Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Like, I just think like if we could get something like that for a couple $1 million, yeah, it's a lot to run it. You have, there's a lot of expenses. You got to hire people, but if we could hire Hexicans to work there, and we could turn the restaurant into like an organic restaurant where all the food is grown right here in our community. And I don't know, bro. I see how beneficial that can be, and how when people see that, you just start doing it. It's contagious. It's like people want to become and want to take part in it. They want to do that. It's, I think, like homesteading and gardening, like it's really starting to get popular. And all
Yeah,
it takes is just for a group of people, like 10 families or something, to move together, 20 people
not even
to move together.
not even that many.
Not even.
Yeah, like so. What I want to do, see, I already solved that problem of like what you're thinking about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my boys and my family, and I'm going to go move out of the country somewhere. Okay. And I'm going to go make a whole bunch of friends in this other country. I'm going to be like, yo, I'm going to be like, I got a whole shit ton of crypto. Y'all want to like build a farm? And they'll be like, yeah, hell yeah. I'll be like, all right, what do y'all need? And I'll just pay for everything. And then I'll just make a whole bunch of friends and create my own village.
Bro, they do it exactly. You could do that like, we've been so brainwashed into thinking that, like, if your doors will get kicked in by the bad guy here. It's like, if you pay your taxes and you don't fuck with anyone, I've never heard anyone's doors getting kicked in that's a good person that leaves people alone. It's always shady people doing shit. Or yeah, there's that one random occasion where you bought a piece of property where you got eminent domain in or whatever. But for the most part, if you're living out in the country and you're not bothering anyone, no one's gonna mess with you.
It's either
And
that
we
or the
have the
mountains.
yeah, and it's there's so many states in this country where you can arm yourself, and it's rural enough, and there's good people.
Yeah, Mobius, you can buy entire towns if you look hard enough.
Bro, even we can just start one, bro, and just build it. And then yeah, you just start employing local people or something and paying them what they're worth. And then they feel like you're not coming in to take over. You're coming in to actually help this place, and you're part of it. Bro, it's so easy to do if you just do shit the right way. Do it morally, do it ethically, do it so where you're not screwing people over. And like, I've never seen anybody in my life that's like in business or real estate or anything that was a good person that never screwed anyone over. That just, you know, everyone just came for it. It doesn't work like that. You have to be a scumbag or screwing people over or scamming or lying for that shit to
I
come
got a
back at you.
friend that's a farmer, and I was friends with him. I've been friends with him for like 20 years. And I told him, I was like, man, I was like, I keep you around because one day I'm going to need your skills. Like, I was like, one day the day will come, I will call you. I'll be like, all right, it's time, bro. We're basically
Dude,
brothers. I mean, we've been friends forever. So I've been doing my thing.
yeah.
He's been doing his thing. I've had this shit planned for a long time, man. So
Yep.
we should have fun. But yeah, man. RFX looks like it's bouncing pretty well. The we're working on getting the logos on different platforms, but it's like the local Pulsechain local platforms, you know, like Pulse Hot List, Pulse Wallet, Internet Money Wallet, you know, ranking sites, all that stuff. We're working on getting those up. We've applied a couple of times now, and so that should be fun. Then we got the NFTs coming, and that should also be fun. I'm so excited to see this, to see what's going to happen. Um, I really think that it's going to. So you hear me talk about like the Pillars of Pulsechain stuff, and it's basically like Pillars of Pulsechain are just projects that are built with Richard Hart values, right? By like community members, and it's like when people come to this chain and they're like, "Hey, where's the basketball game or the skee ball machine or the dinosaur shooter game?" And you point them to it, you want to make sure that whatever you're pointing them to is built by reputable sources and the machine's going to work, right? Like, and there's no, you know, counterparty risk, centralization risk, things like that, you know? And so y'all see me push these tokens so hard in this ecosystem so hard because that's what I see. And I want people that come in looking for, you know, something like ReflX or something like DIEX. I want people to be able to point them to those tokens, right? Pillars of Pulsechain, right? The tokens that you point people to, you know, where's the DEX? Oh, PulseX. Okay. Where can I stake my hex? Oh, you can check out, you know, app.icosa.pro or whatever, you know, Reflux, you know, what can I do with these liquidity tokens? Go check out the Pulse Laurian lifeline thing, you know, stuff like that. Like, oh, can I earn yield off my hex stakes? Yeah, Hedron, you know, like I see these guys working their asses off and really making it happen and listening to what the community wants. And they're not pulling none of that. Oh man, yeah, like we got this crazy major update coming, and then like it's just like, you know, this where you can search up wallets. It's just like 1 minute it's there, the next minute they're like, hey, we just added that. You know, it's you know what I'm talking about, bro. Like you see people that like just hold this shit over people's heads to try to build as much cloud as possible, and then they release it and it's really not like it's nothing crazy, you know? It's like that was totally not worth the suspense. You know, like the suspense on the NFTs is organic suspense, right? Like they're not launched because they're not ready to be launched, right? But like I don't know, man. I just like what they're doing, you know. Like they stay busy, like it's 24/7, you know. And Pulse Laurian's, you know, Fajari, he's the main front end dev, and then you have Ramerd, who's the back end dev, which 30 plus years of experience in development, right? Like that's rare. He's led teams around the planet. That's rare. And he's over here on Pulse Chain building. And people seem to just be ignoring it. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, guys, 30 years of development experience is when were computers created?
The early, I'll say late 70s, early 80s. Maybe even earlier.
1942. But that's one of those big motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm not going to count that as a computer. First personal computer. Oh. Let's see. 1971. So what is that? 50 years?
52 years, yeah.
52 years? So this guy, over half the time that personal computers have existed, he's been sitting there smashing on the keyboard. You don't get that everywhere. That's why with this code, with these two tokens, and all of this, right, and this whole platform is built from scratch. Like they're not copying, forking code, right? They're forking their own code, right? Because Reflux to DIEX, same code, they fork their own code, but that's because these two products serve different purposes. One yields in Pulse, the other yields in a stable coin, right? It makes sense to have these two here, right? But you don't see them taking code that they got off of like GitHub somewhere and just copy and pasted it, changed a couple numbers in it, and then launched it like it's like this brand new product and everybody needs to look at it. You know, like I share their perspective too when they say like, if the code already exists, then go use it. You know, like a lot of the things that exist on Ethereum, right? Like Pulse Chain, people just need to go build front ends for it, and you can use it. You know, whatever it is, like you can go do that. Anybody can, if they know how. I don't know how. I can't, but and I'm not going to learn how to. But you know, everything they're just contracts. You know, like this right here. Well, not this because you don't really stake it, but like, let's see, this right here is just an iteration of pull up. Like when you're talking about reading and writing contracts, like y'all know how people talk about, oh, you can interact with HEX on like via Etherscan or via PulseScan. This is what they're talking about, right? Like you can run functions without having a front end. It's just that the front end is built around it and accesses this, right? It accesses the chain that allows you to do these sort of things, right? So, yeah, man, there's a lot, but like these guys are
bro.
guys.
There's the reflection season it's having its time right now on Pulsechain, with
And
TGC, PRS, RFX.
and reflection tokens are big because people understand them. They understand them easier. Hexkins have an advantage over these two contracts because they understand the share system because it's modeled after Hex, right? That's what the share system is modeled after. So like they have an edge over utilizing this token to its fullest and producing them as much yield as possible if they're Hexkins, and if and then it goes another level if you're good at liquidity providing and you know what you're doing when you're liquidity providing. Like the way that this token can be played is crazy, and you don't have that in like 98% of all the other tokens, where 99% of the tokens you don't have an aspect where you can play with liquidity, like where you can utilize liquidity to its fullest, right?
Yeah,
it's just big, so I say pillar or pulse chain, like these things. Again, reflection tokens are a big market. When people come to pulse chain, it's like an arcade. You want to have a game for everybody, okay? And if you're the dude that's kicking dirt into the face of the kid that wants to play the skee ball game because he doesn't want to play the dinosaur shooter game, you're just a dick, right? You're not actually providing any like substance or benefit to the rest of the people around you. You're just being a dick, right? So it's important that you have the dinosaur game that you want to play, and it's important that if somebody wants to play something that's not the dinosaur game, that they can go play something else. And what's even more important than that is that those machines work and they're built by reputable people. You see the metaphor I'm putting here, laying down here?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's important, so you got to look at those things, man.
Yeah, definitely, bro. There's a lot of new excited stuff coming. I mean, obviously, everybody do your research. I mean, a lot of people, I still see it when I say reflection token. There's like, oh, Safe Moon 2.0, bro. Oh, they're all scams. It's
well,
like
Safe Moon was a success because, and the reason that I say Safe Moon was a success is because I don't measure a token success by its price chart. I measure a token success by its ability, or like by its the existence and strength of its community, right? Like people with Safe Moon are like the Safe Moon army still exists. The founders got arrested for scamming and frauding and stealing and doing everything terrible, and it all came out public information. Everybody knows they migrated from V1 to V2 to V3, and there's still a Safe Moon army, right? Safe Moon is still, let's see what it's running. $25,000 in volume today with $2.6 million in liquidity. The token was a success not because like the price chart went up and went down. The token was a success because the community is still there even after everything happened, right? Like I wouldn't touch Safe Moon with a 10-foot pole. I think the people that are still in it are crazy, but the token itself built the community, right? And the community is still there. And that's, I think it was Matty Allen that talks about how the community is the layer 0, right? You have the layer 0, which is the community. Then you have the layer 1 pulse chain, and then you have everything else built on top of it. Well, if you don't have a community, you don't have a token. I'm sorry, because these charts or any chart that you ever are going to look at is just a reflection of past human emotion, right? That's all it ever is. You're not looking at a price. You're looking at how people feel about it, right? And that's what people need to know. But yeah.
Yeah, bro, it's interesting, bro. A lot of FUD came out with when P Die and Atropa were pumping. People were calling those a scam and da 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 da. And now they have both dipped hard, and they're still up though. If you look, they're up like 20, 30x still, I think, from when they started. So obviously that retail FOMO kicks in. These things go parabolic. They find new floors and they come back. And, nobody knows, what is going to be the most popular thing in Pulse Chain. It's the stuff that you least expect. I guarantee you when Pulse Chain launched, if you put a poll out on Twitter on May 15th and said in 4 months from now at the end of August, the hottest coin on Pulse Chain will be PulseX, a meme coin, or PDI. How many people would have chose a stable coin? It's like zero. No one would have saw that coming. So crypto is the unexpected, and you got to go against the grain. Like, to me now, FUD is almost bullish in a sense. Like with Titan X, I was on stream with Jake twice before it launched, and I asked him the questions I had, and I couldn't find anything that I didn't like. And it's still, people weren't positive about it on Twitter. He was a scammer. He had his course that he did, whatever it was. But I couldn't find anybody that had, decent FUD against it. And so I went in hard on day one, and that was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And, with the next day, a lot of my Hexagon OG friends called me and were like, dude, Titan X, what the hell? And they were all late to the ship because they probably read some tweets or saw some FUD. And it's unfortunate that, it's just reality. You got to do your research. And I think just getting in early is the most important thing. It's never easy in crypto. When everybody's telling you to get in, it's probably already pumped and there's a chance of going down. And when you're buying stuff is super early, you feel like at any point this thing could just go to zero. There's no interest in it. Why am I buying this? So it's never easy. The people that say, "Oh, I made millions on these meme coins," you know how hard it is to hold all the way through, to get in early on one of these coins, hold through the pumps, hold through the dumps. Like, it takes someone special. So crypto is never easy, and it's right now we're just fortunate we're here early enough where it's almost throwing darts
Dude,
at the board. And I think we're going to see pumps in pretty much everything to close this year out.
yeah, man. Dude, this guy in the chat's hilarious, man. The dev Pulseformer was literally a Binance Smart Chain scammer. I'm not the dev, bro. Like, I'm just the dude that talks about it.
Bro, you DM'd me and said you were the dev on all the projects.
Oh my god. I can't tell, like, by the way he's typing if he's referring to me in all of these, but I'm not the dev. I was only on Binance Smart Chain for SafeMoon, and that's right before I learned about HEX. I mean, the rest of it.
I just gotta I don't mind DBZ. You can share your opinion. You don't like it, that's whatever. But I mean, you gotta look in the mirror, bro. Let's check out the DBZ chart here for a second and see how that's doing, because it was freaking. Oh my god, bro! I see why he's in here getting mad now, because the DBZ chart is just golly. Down to 77 cents. And I have a bunch of it staked. And my ETH divs right now, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to claim them because ETH gas is going to be so goddamn expensive by 0.007. Ain't going to ever be worth it. But that's crypto. Yeah, Titan X
It's
chart.
crypto,
Hell yeah,
man. I mean,
Davis.
it's volatile. You know, like that's just how it's always gonna be. I don't know what to like. You just got to understand the way that markets work and the way that like liquidity works, and you'll get it. Like I
Yeah,
don't know.
everything's down right now, but like across the board, except for literally Titan X. I mean, this thing is going crazy right now. Someone is just buying $1,200 worth literally like every minute, bro. It's
Yeah,
nuts. These $1,200 buys have been coming in all day, bro. It's a whale is just stacking it, staking it, and burning it. And
nice.
it's dude, it's crazy. So the value of miners are just going through the roof right now. I think 16% of the supply has been burnt or something like that. It's crazy. So, I was bullish on this early. I was not
Yeah, I know
hating
you've been
on it.
talking about it. Yeah,
Yeah. Garcia is a paid troll.
he's
DBZ. Oh,
saying
that's
that
all. I didn't. I got. Let's check. I forgot DBZen launched on Pulsechain. Fuck. I should have done that.
he's
See
saying
how
that
easy.
he can confirm that the insiders already dumped, but meanwhile, all the people that are part of the team are like, who the fuck are these people that keep dumping? Because we all know who our wallets are. It's hilarious, dude. Like I love watching people just talk, like being on the other side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like knowing people are full of shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I know you're. I know. I've known Pulseformer since before Pulsechain even launched, and I'm pretty sure he's not a developer.
Yeah, no, I'm not a developer. I just know how to tweet a lot. This could be
I'll
the
put
guy
a
that's been following
10K
me for the
bet.
past few
Reflux
days.
is down 40% 6 months from now. I would take that bet because I think with the NFTs coming out, I don't think. I mean, it could be. I mean, it's crypto, but with the if the NFT if half of the NFTs sell within a month, I would say that's not that probably can't happen.
I think that this guy is there's did you hear about the OJ token?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so there's an orange juice token, right? And these guys launched it and then gave a bunch of the supply to Dr. Robotnik and then dumped the fuck out of it and then blamed Dr. Robotnik on it. And ever since then, like since I called that dude out on like him and his like 20 accounts that he's been running and how he's like been setting up people and framing them, and he's been like chasing me around for the past like 2 or 3 days on just like multiple accounts harassing me. So that's probably him, honestly.
Yeah, because
Dude, it's crazy. Like when you seen those videos, or like okay, when you're getting a scam call from one of those Indian call centers, and then like you're onto them and you're like, yo, like go fuck yourself, and then they're like, no, go fuck you, and then it's just like becomes like a yelling argument fight. It's like that. That's like what this guy is.
yeah. I mean, anybody could have got in early and got a huge supply, just like with PTGC. That's
Yep.
going to the actual firmament because this shirt right here will tell you. And I got in early. I found it when I thought it was the golf course coin, and I loved it. And I bought a couple billion coins, and I was a massive whale in that coin, and I didn't even know who the devs were. So am I an insider at that point when I had more a massive supply and I control it? Like, certain coin, yeah, there are insiders that do shit, but that's crypto. And, all you can do is do your research, talk to founders, talk to people that are marketing the project and make your own decision. It's, yeah, you gotta be
Yeah.
careful out there. There's no one project where it's like, oh yeah, this is the one we're all gonna get rich. It's, we're all degens here, but You know, I'm not telling you to go out and buy RFX. You know, I bought it. I bought PRS. I bought PTGC. I bought all three because I like getting back rewards. So
Yeah, like I
the
don't
fact that
like.
they pay back at Pulse, whatever. I think they're paying back more than validators at certain points. So I can't argue that.
I mean, look, today RFX is at 24 hours, 5.3K volume, and the reflections that I got today paid more than a validator. That's crazy. That's crazy. That volume on a reflection token is basically dead, and it paid me out more than a validator does. Like, what more do you want? You know what I mean? And to me, man, I lack empathy, right? And I tell people this, like, I don't care about your feelings. I really, really do not care. Like, I've taken multiple personality tests, and every single one from different sources, every single time, between 5 and 10 out of 100 is what I score on empathy, right? I just don't think like that, right? So I don't care about what you do with your money, and I don't care what happens to your money. What I'm here to do is, educate people on stuff that I like and things that I think are cool, right? Like every people who have been following me for years know that I've spent the entire time. I made my Twitter Pulseformer because that's the first time I came to Twitter was because of the Hex community, right? I've only ever shilled Hex and Richard Hart products. Well, now that we're being forced to evolve, and now that we're being forced to adopt uh, an entire chain and not be one coiners anymore, and learn how to evolve and to adopt and to bring more people in, you have to accept the fact that people might not want Hex, but they might want Pulse, or they might not want PulseX, but they might want RFX. You can't stop them from them wanting what they want. What you can do is you can support the projects that are being built on the chain, right? And you just have to be careful about which ones you support, right? You don't want to like support the wrong ones, because if it ends up that like I like that's why I try to educate people and just bring facts. Like I don't really care much about putting my personal opinion into things, right? Every now and then I'll mention it, but it's more about educating people. So no, I can't guarantee that. What makes you think like I can guarantee you anything, bro?
No,
Like
I'm saying it's been
not you.
doing that. Like I've owned that. I've had a bag for a month. Or no, even more now. I got into them in like October 14th, 18th around there. And then PRS I was into in early September when Zach was on the stream. So I just buy little bags, and then um Pulse Laurian messaged me and was like, "Hey, would you do a stream with me?" And I was like, "Sure." I already own the token. You know, I mean, I've been in the Telegram group. I like the reflux thing right now, and you know, we got to be supportive of people developing. You know, I'm not telling anyone to buy anything out here. I'm
If
just
people
letting people come on and talk about their things, and if it can bring new people in or just spread Pulse chain, you know, that's what we got to do
if
right now.
if Murd and the Pulse Laurian came here from another chain today, it made their presence known, everybody would be flipping the fuck out about it. Everybody would be. Because of their experience. But for some reason people choose to ignore it. And they say that there's people out there talking shit, right? But to be fair, most of the people that are talking shit are people that are actually just mad at me, right? And they use the community that I'm trying to help build as an attack vector, right? As an attack surface. And that's actually what's really happening. Like this guy's on his third account in chat now. He's on his third
Yeah.
account now. You see how
Bro,
it's crazy. It's crazy. But no, I'm gonna answer your question, man.
bro,
No,
he's got your IP address, bro. I got it too now that you're in this chat. I actually hooked up with I'm not gonna say his name, but I got IP collectors for anyone that puts a message in my chat. So
yeah.
I got everything now.
Yeah, and this guy, like, when I first busted him the other day, he started messaging me. He's like, I got your IP address, and then like I brought up IP address in the space that I was in where he was listening, and I was like, bro, you're not gonna find my IP address. And then he's like, I know you're using a VPN. I'm like, dude, are you stop? Like, what are you doing? And and then he's like, I'll have you fired from your employer, buddy. I haven't had a job in 12 years. I hope you know that. I am my own employer. I've always taken care of myself. Like, and then he starts going around calling me a scammer and posting things that were posting screenshots in public chats, bro. Or like posted screenshots from public chats that everybody has seen. And it's like, dog, like, calm down, man. Just calm down.
That's funny. It's all fun and games. Yeah, I mean, I own a bag of Zen. I own it. I bought 1 billion of them for like $800, and I think I'm down a little bit, but I believe in Zen long term. I want to have my bag for when that supply shot comes inevitably. You know, I like DB Zen. I'm minting. I've been shilling Zen FTs like crazy, having to have people mint them just because the ROI on them on Pulsechain and Optimism, they've been really good. So, you know, for people that don't have much money, they're great opportunities. So, you know, I love the Zen FTs and
like,
Zen.
Like, I personally, like, I hate Zen. I hate Jack for what he did, but I'm happy that people are coming over here and that they found things that they like. I'm more happy about that than I am that, like, I don't like the token, you know, and I don't care at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's not my
And
business.
you don't make it you don't go out making like you have the ability to just not say anything, which that's what I appreciate. It's like
Yeah,
I don't like Jack either really as a person, but his projects, you know, they've been able to make people that I work with that need the money that don't make much, that, you know, it's really helped them out, and they're like appreciative of that stuff where they can have small little wins and not risk much. And that's great. You know, every crypto's not for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And to the guy in the chat, like, I'm not in the Tang Gang admin chat. Like, literally. Like, hold on. I will prove it. Where is this? How do I change my screen? I'm just gonna go ahead and let y'all know, like, show you guys that this guy's full of shit. Share screen, window. Okay. Yeah, share that out. I don't know if it's showing yet or not.
Yeah, it's on. Yep, we can see it.
Okay. So you got the Reflex chat. You got the Reflex dev chat. I'm not in any OJ Tang Gang chat. There's Bieber's message from earlier. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, you stop following me around. Stop making up bullshit because you can't prove any of it, and you're just making yourself look dumb. Like, I can literally sit here and, like, see, this is from this dude, the attacker. So, like, you can see how long these messages were ago, right? Like, this is me talking to that guy that launched that attack, by the way. But yeah, like, dog, like, you're not gonna sit here and like throw dirt on my name like that. Like, you're an idiot, and everything that you say is easily disprovable. And yeah, like, stop coming in here with alternate accounts. You're crazy. Like, this dude literally has like over 20 Twitter accounts that he's been like. I didn't even realize it, bro. I've been following some of them like for a while.
And he's banned for life now. So you got a couple chances in here. You know, if you have negative comments, whatever, you can state your opinion as long as you're not
Yeah, you can
attacking
ask all the
anyone.
questions you want.
It's whatever. But coming in here, yeah, just that. I mean, that shit is like when you're just making stupid shit up. That's just, we don't need any of that here. We don't got time for that.
Yeah, it's just like waste. Like, we could have been talking about more productive things this whole time.
Yeah, like that's the first ban for life I've ever had to do.
Yeah, like, and I was hiding his other message. Watch, he'll pop up here in a second with another account. He's logging into it right now. Don't you worry. Yeah, but
oh, that's
yeah,
great.
it's crazy. And Yeah, we just had a buy come in on ReflX. I guess people are liking it. That's pretty cool. You know, $71,000 in liquidity. Like, and that's nice, bro. I like to see that as holding, you know. And on these low volume days, I'll let y'all in on a little secret. This right here is printing money, right? Like, because you're supporting the community and being able to go back and forth between these two tokens directly is it's nice. It's nice, and it's really important to do this because again, I mean, this is just printing money. If you hold both of them, you know, consider throwing it a little bit in there, because if you lose, let's say you're earning like $5 a day in DIX and $5 a day in Pulse. Okay, if you take 10% of all that, so you take 10% out of each pool, put them in a liquidity pair. Now you've just decreased your reflections or your payouts or whatever you want to call them by 10%, right? Well, when you're putting it into this pool, the elixir that you're getting rewarded from for doing that, it makes up for that 10%. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're getting a third token too. So, you know, like that's nice. And then this pool somebody needs to get in on that one. I need to get more deeper into that one because that's nice. See, bro, he's back again.
Bro, dude, that's like, oh yeah, I cucked out though, bro. I don't like gammas. I don't like this shit. Like, if you have something to say it. Well, you don't just come in here and just start freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, Barrel's responsible for this pump and dump. Great, bro. Come fucking sue me. Come talk to me. Come say shit to my fucking face, you faggot. You're getting banned for life. All your stupid accounts. Can't stand this shit. I've never had a troll here ever in this channel ever.
I'm
This
sorry,
is always
man. He's
productive. It's always fucking good shit here. Hey, your stupid fucking gammas come in here and can't control themselves.
He's feeding your algorithm because of the chat that he's put, the amount of messages he's putting in the chat. It's like he doesn't know, but he's helping your channel get recommended to people.
I'm the king of pump and dumps, bro. That's all I shill are pump and dumps. Follow my Twitter. Everything's a pump and dump.
Everything's a pump and dump. But yeah, so I like to take my elixir. I like to put it in with some Pulse or put it in with some PulseX, whichever one's higher at the time, you know, and help build that liquidity pool up. Yeah, it's just a dump token, but the amount of elixir that it's paying completely offsets the dumping pressure. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as it dumps, you're getting more elixir that it's just making up for the impermanent loss, you know? So I'll take like some Pulse that I'm getting in from ReflX, and then I'll, like, you know, do whatever I want to with it, right? You know, it's Pulse and die. You can do whatever you want to with it. So, you know, there's all sorts of great strategies you can utilize. It's great.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get a little bit of elixir right now. Probably throw some into the pools.
Let's look at the chart.
I mean, if the 15th a couple days ago was the floor, I mean, it's bounced from there.
Elixir basically has like next to no buying pressure unless people are coming in to get it. Like, you can see it on the chart, right? Like, it's not a popular crazy token.
No, but it does it serves its purpose. You just, for that LP, and the inflation is what, like 6 a minute, which isn't that bad.
Yeah, like, this is why I like it, is because it's like this, right? As long as this liquidity pool's here, I can sell my tokens and do whatever I want to with them, you know? But yeah, I don't like not being in the farms now that I've figured them out. Like, and this is nice, man, because when people start, so the front end for the Elixir governance is being built up right now, right? It'll probably be on the homepage somewhere around here. Let me pull it up. It'll probably be like, you know, we'll say like Elixir governance, or there you go, right here. NFTs coming soon, governance coming soon. So once that comes out, you can probably expect this token to get a little bit more traction, a little bit more attention. But I'm not going to say like it's going to go to the moon. I have no idea like what it's going to do, right? But I'm happy getting my hands on it so far.
I mean, dude, if it's
Especially 'cause
got
it's-
fat pairs with Pulse, it's got does it have a pair with RFX?
Let me see.
If it's paired up with RFX, with Pulse X, with Hex, that
Nope.
Tart's Law will
PLSX,
drag it up.
Wrapped Ethereum, DAI, and Pulse.
There you go. And I'm sure, bro, people will come in and start adding new pools. Like I actually might do that. I actually might take like buy some Elixir and slap it in with like RFX or like TGC or PRS and just start making different pools around there and then adding some into liquidity.
I love it because it gives me something extra that I can do with my one. It encourages these other pairs that aren't the Pulse pairs, right? And the reflections that these generate are on par, or like the Elixir that these generate is on par with the reflections, right? And like it increases all of these R bots, and also because of the tokens are counted like in the share system, they're counted as like burned or removed from the system until you put them back into that liquidity or take them out of liquidity. So it's increasing what everybody else is getting paid, right? And it's like it's just a positive feedback loop. It's just constant, right?
Yep. 100%,
And they're saying in
bro.
chat, I think that's Romerd. The initial drop was set on purpose. It was when the farm just opened and had no liquidity, but ever since you can see it sustain the price extremely well. Yeah, like so. What he's saying is,
They
like,
let a buy and burn. Oh, dude, there you
the
go.
real
So,
start.
and there's even two, if like if they weren't doing that right there, and I had that idea, I could just come into the DAO, put up a proposal. Like this is actually community ran too. So other community members, people have the ability. If you have problems like these gammas here, oh, it's a scam. Well, how about instead of bitching about it, come up with solutions that could make it better and could
Or
fix
prove
the
it's a
problems
scam
that.
first.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's fucking. So it's just annoying. Like,
yeah, just
like
slinging shit.
this channel, people come here to learn. Like, even if you don't want to buy this coin, you know what? You might learn something about reflection tokens or liquidity or something else. And like, just to come in and do that shit, it just takes away from like, it's whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the negativity again. Like I said earlier, like you kicking dirt up into the face of the kid that's playing the skee ball game because he doesn't want to play the dinosaur game with you doesn't make the kid the bad person there. It makes you the bad person. It makes you the asshole, right? It doesn't make that kid the asshole. Like, like you gotta respect other people, and like,
yeah,
I'll disrespect the fuck out of somebody, but it's only after I've been disrespected by them, like that's my philosophy on life. Have absolute respect for people, but once they start disrespecting you, it's gloves off. And I warn them. I tell them, hey, man, don't be disrespectful. They ignore it.
yeah. It is what it is. You're doing something right when you get hate. Honestly, if you don't get any hate, that's probably not a good thing, because that means somebody else out there, they don't like what you're doing. Either they're in fear of it or they're jealous, whatever the reason. It's generally because your product is better, more efficient, more popular, whatever.
The devs are planning to implement a buy and burn on Elixir via the farm fees. Dude, you see what I'm saying, man? Like, I got to read that again. The devs are planning to implement a buy and burn on Elixir via the farm fees. Dude, like, So these fees right here of people adding and removing go to a buy and burn. Like that's incentive token on steroids.
Yep.
It was already shared with the governance. Let me pull up the
And that's the thing too. Like the governance UI that's coming, it just allows people to be able to support the community, to add their own opinions, to be able to, instead of coming in and bitching about it, come in and add solutions. And that's how you grow things. That's how they evolve. That's what Richard developed Pulsechain for. It's the infrastructure for building on.
And the people who have been listening to him for years and have learned from him are building stuff. So like, you know, like that's why they're the next level projects. That's why they're better than all the other shit, in my opinion. Right? Like it's because they learn from the best at the end of the day. You know, when you see people are taking advantage of these dips, man, you know, it's a slow game, but it's all about building the community, you know?
Well, everything's dipped right now. I mean, every single PRC20 that I'm looking at here is down. But Dex Tools is the only one that's not down, and there's like $300 in liquidity in that thing. So
we're almost to 900 holders on ReflX.
There we go.
Let's see.
It's growing.
See if we updated. Nope, 607 still. Yeah, man, it's awesome. I'm loving it.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Well, we've been going for holy shit, hour 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's been.
It's getting late. Yeah, getting late here on the East Coast. Probably a good time to wrap it up. We got the gammas have left, so.
Yeah, I think he ran out of accounts.
Yeah, there's one comment that was funny up here. I was trying to find it. It's about. Here it is. Bro, you're saying nobody knows to be nice to your guests. You know more than anyone. All reflection tokens dump 1 year max. Usually 2 weeks is good. Okay, well then hold it for a year.
I guess so. There
if
you
we
go.
all know they dump in 1 year, then I'm holding mine for 11 months and 3 weeks.
Yep. Yep. I don't think that's gonna happen with this token, man, or this platform. I think there's too much going on. I think there's not enough people know about it. I think that people are gonna love it when they start learning, and yeah, I think we'll be fine. You know,
bro, the thing that I think about too is like right now, the prices are relevant. It's how much pulse are you getting back right now, and if you can be getting back, you know, 10, 20,000 pulse a day between your reflection coins, and the price of Pulsechain 20x's, you got to think about that. What's that going to be worth in a year from now?
I mean, just the reflections, right? Like,
yeah, on just the pulse you're getting back. How much is that going to be worth when Pulsechain 10x is in value, 20x is in value? It's going to be crazy. So you got to take that into consideration. And I'm all about passive income. That's my strategy. Finding coins, whether it's in this ecosystem, whether it's, you know, in Verasity or whatever coins I own, I want them staked. I want them making passive income for me. And if I can't stake them, the next best thing is earning back rewards in Pulsechain or, you know, whatever, Elixir, if you're in pools, and throwing them up into LP. And being early to this stuff is the most important thing. You know, when you could get, you know, throw in a pair and the prices right now at a 70% dip. Well, once it returns back to its all-time high, if it does, well, now your liquidity pair starts looking really, really good. It's when you get excited and you throw them in at the top and it goes down, you start getting wrecked. But you got to trade against your emotions. When you're feeling super bullish, I got to buy, it's time to sell. And when you're nervous and you think, oh God, I don't know, that's when it's time to go all in.
Yep. You got to do the opposite. So yeah, we got. I was
Exactly.
going to bring up the calculators here. Obviously, you can't predict volume, right? But I just put in 50,000 and then 30 million for a whale position. Just easy numbers. Reflex running 145%, and this is assuming that the price trades sideways. By the way, DIX running 1,420% APY, and that's an average of $50,000 of volume. But yeah, and again, you can always see, oh, am I a whale? Am I a squid? Am I a dolphin? What am I? And over here, if you highlight it, and because of the burn of the token, you're over time you can just become a turtle from a blowfish,
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah, because of it's percentage based. It's not how many tokens you have, and we did that because it's just, or they did that because it was just simpler, and it makes more sense to do it that way because it changes with time, and so why shouldn't the rankings scale with that? So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring those up, let people know.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That just by sitting there not doing anything, you can that's cool.
Yeah, great. So,
You
all
can
right,
move
man.
up in category.
Yeah, it was good talking with you.
Yeah,
Always.
brother. Definitely good chatting with you. And it's an exciting time we're in right now. We're so early. Everything just dipped. And I really do think that the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks are going to be epic. I think Bitcoin's going to push 42K. I think some of these altcoins, I think stuff like, honestly, I think coins like Zilliqa, I think Zilliqa is going to do a 10x and rip to 20 cents. I think some of these older cycle coins are going to start shocking people. We just saw Solana go crazy, Avalanche, Theta, Casper's going ballistic. So the bull market's here and the moon cycles, everything's timing up for an end of the year rally. So even though we're bearish right now, I think next week it's going to be something special.
Oh yeah.
And tomorrow, oh wow. So yeah, tomorrow actually all the ISO stuff goes live for all the major banks. So a lot of those standards are now going to be put into effect. So when they are using, sending money and remittances around the world, it has to check those guidelines. So I think maybe XRP could go on a little run. Who knows? But you got to be in it to win it. And no one knows what's going to happen. You got to be ready for anything. Ready for a black swan. Be ready for shit to pump to the firmament. But yeah, bro, it's
What
exciting
if they just
times.
yank the interest rates from where they are now down to like 3% or 2%? They just come out here and he just says, "Yep, that's the interest rate now. Bye."
Bro, it honestly could happen. I was driving in the car today and some talk radio popped on real quick and they were talking about the economy and said exactly something like that. Like we might see the fastest drop in inflation rate in the history of the last 100 years. Like we could literally drop down 1.5%, 2% overnight.
Yeah, because didn't they hit their target inflation rate probably like 6 months ago, and I think now they're just sucking even more out. So if they do that, it would line up and make sense, right? That to speculate on it, to say that like they're doing that out because it gives it like a buffer, because when they drop those interest rates down and all that money comes in, it fills it up to the level of where they're trying to be, not shoot past it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It is, bro. So, all right, guys. Well, appreciate everyone that's here, everyone that made it through the little gamma outbursts. Appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, share this out. And Pulseformer, appreciate it once again. And we'll do it again in the future for sure.
Yeah, bud.